This anime was everything I wanted, but more. Like, I have been patiently waiting for episode 1 of Jahy-sama to actually finally air, and just yesterday, the first episode finally came out, and I got to sink my teeth into it earlier today, and my goodness, what a good anime. Like, okay, so just to clarify a few things, what this is about, etc. So apparently Jahy-sama is going to be about 20 episodes in length, so this lets us know that it's going to be going well into the fall of anime 2021, so that's automatically great news, especially if you're wanting a series to stick around for a good long while. Apparently the producers of this anime is actually Square Enix and ABC Animation. I do wonder if Square Enix might, actually put something like a crossover event maybe into Final Fantasy, fingers crossed since I've recently got into that game. But also, the studio working on it is Silverlink. They're very well known for a lot of their moe blob type series, so I do think that their overall style does fit the design of Jahy-sama because of just the moe-like nature. If you have ever heard of A Devil is a Part-Timer, that show, that anime, that just made waves in the anime community. And just recently this year, we had an announcement that there is going to be a season 2, which is just shocking to us all, because let's be real here, no one probably saw A Devil is a Part-Timer season 2 potentially coming, because it's been years, years upon years since that even got any form of new content in terms of an anime, so just to see a season 2 announcement recently just really, I think, made us all excited. And so if you are definitely anticipating that season 2 for Devil is a Part-Timer, then you could definitely feast your eyes on this series, Jahy-sama, because it literally is A Devil is a Part-Timer, but the female version. Like, for instance, just change the main male character to a female character, and that is what you got with this whole anime so far. It is glorious, and I'm just gonna say right now, I had so much fun watching this first episode, because, Jahy, our main female character, her little interactions of how she's, some form of demon lord that has fallen to the human realm, and she literally has no powers to exert because she, has lost everything. She's lost her mana crystals and all of that. She's so weakened now. It's funny seeing her interaction with the daily mundane task in real life. Just seeing how she has to, get a job, pay for rent, etc. It's hilarious. There's so much, hilarity throughout the first episode that I feel like many are just going to be sitting back and laughing while watching. I know I was just laughing nonstop. I had to pause the episode just to be able to breathe because it was good. That scene in the middle of the episode where Jahy literally got exposed, she revealed that she was tiny and that she was just, using her magic to make her, back into her normal form. It was funny when the interaction from the owner started talking, where it's like, oh, you're so tiny, and just the way she acted around her, I just couldn't help but laugh. Just everything about the entire situation was hilarious, and it just kept getting funnier and funnier, especially with the whole rent scene, where you see how, Jahy has to pay up rent, and she just doesn't want to. She just keeps trying to skirt around having to pay it and all that, and it was a very Gintama-like situation. If any of you have ever watched Gintama and how Gintoki is in terms of how he's always being asked to pay rent, it's kind of like that. I was reminded of those type of scenes in Gintama when it came to this episode of Jahy-sama, and I was just like, yeah, this is already a banger of an anime, and I cannot wait to see where this is going to go, because honestly, I've been seeing this anime circulating around for a while now. Obviously the first episode just came out, but I've seen pictures of this character, Jahy. I've seen her continuously appearing on my social media feed, and I've seen her pop up sometimes on YouTube, and I'm like, okay, what is this anime? Because I've constantly saw the character design, and then when I found out it was getting an anime, I was like, okay, clearly there's something going on here. There is a lot of build-up, a lot of hype surrounding this series, and I could definitely see why at this time. It is definitely something that is going to get a lot of people excited for, because when we compare it to all the other stuff from this anime season, there is some good stuff. Don't get me wrong, there is some really good sequels and all that, but most of the stuff this anime season is kind of a little bit eh. And I gotta say, Jahy is definitely filling that void for me in terms of, good quality anime for this season. Just this first episode is just excitement incarnate. That's what it is. And I just want to say, if you've yet to actually watch the first episode, seriously, stop what you're doing and go watch it. It's good. It really is good. It's so fun. But, okay, so getting into the nitty-gritty of it, basically, from what I can see from the plot so far is that there is going to be some fantasy-like elements. There's definitely going to be potentially some fan service-like elements. I mean, clearly through the main female character's character design. And, you know, I feel like there is going to be a serious plot built up behind the scenes. Because it's clear that Jahy, she wants to turn back to her original power. She wants to obtain it. She wants to gather these mana crystals and all that to be able to be strong once again. And if you look at the opening song clearly lets us know that there is going to be other entities from the Dark Realm or the Demon Realm that are actually going to be able to come to Jahy's new world, for instance, the human world. So I feel like because of that, there is going to be probably some action, some fights. There's going to be, you know, some crazy build-up, and maybe Jahy's going to go through a whole level of character development to where she wants to not be really evil anymore, but actually serve the side of good. Kind of very similar to maybe Devil is a Part-Timer. So there is some good stuff here. Now, I know many are probably thinking, like, wait a minute, so since you're saying this is like Devil is a Part-Timer, is it just an apparent ripoff? I'm not saying that. I'm not saying Jahy is a ripoff of Devil is a Part-Timer. There is some distinct differences, and there also is some similarities. I mean, if you have watched Devil is a Part-Timer, you will notice it. It literally, you can see it. But even if you have, you're not going to hate this series. There is so much originality put into the first episode that I think everybody's going to have a good time, even if you are a watcher of Devil is a Part-Timer. And even if you haven't watched it, you're going to love this. And I feel like there's so much good that this series has at its disposal, because you don't really see a lot of, like, anime, manga, and, you know, light novels really go into this type of theme, at least from what I've seen. Usually they go down, like, oh, you're transported to an alternate world, or, you know, usually, you know, you're in a game or reincarnated, whatever, but you don't normally see this type of setting, to where you have this strong entity just casted down into the lower realm, like a human world, and having to, like, save up money just to be able to get back to where they once were. And that's another thing. I do wonder exactly the limitations of Jahy. Like, for instance, if she will be able to use her overall overwhelming power in the future, because, like, we see that she has her mana crystal with her, but is there mana crystals actually in the world? Because it's like, she's in a human world, it's implied that potentially she got transported to another world, and if that is indeed the case, that would mean that there probably isn't any mana crystals around. So the only way potentially to be able to get those mana crystals is if someone transfers them across from the other side, and is there anyone that's going to actually do that? And on top of that, for her to actually be here, was this intentional? Did she purposely get casted here intentionally, or was it just a freak accident? Who really knows? One last thing I want to talk about before I kind of wrap up this video for Jahy-sama Episode 1 is that how amazing the artwork and the opening song for this first episode is. Like, soon as I loaded up the episode, I was greeted with this fantastic and / colorful opening song, and I know not everybody's going to probably enjoy the opening song to the same level as I did, because obviously it comes down to personal taste, but oh my goodness, the opening song really just captured me. I was like, okay, this has enough in it to really let me know what I'm to expect, because just everything about the opening song was very just, you know, uplifting, it was funny, and it gave you enough context of probably what you're about to get into to understand if you might enjoy this anime series or not. And I feel like that's a perfect way to really use an opening song for an anime, by actually showing you kind of enough to know what you're getting into, but not enough to really just spoil everything. The only spoilers I really can say that this opening song actually did was just letting me know that there is going to be other characters from Jahy's world that is going to appear in the human world. That's the only thing. But to be honest, that's kind of like a no-brainer that would eventually happen, so I can't even really consider that a spoiler. But just, yeah, opening song in general, really loving it so far. Easily my favorite opening song of this anime season. But, yeah, all I'm gonna say is that if you have yet to actually watch the first episode, like I said, go watch it. It's good. It's really good. Artwork is beautiful. Voice acting is amazing. I mean, it's cutesy, fun, hilarious. Like I said, it has some fan service, action in it, just what's not to really love from Jahy-sama Episode 1. But I think I'm going to kind of wrap it up there. Just wanted to give a shout out to this series I've been awaiting for a long time, and I think many others as well. With that, be safe, stay healthy, Chibi out.